mercenaries, really, that's the double M. Born baller, baby boy, I be above the rim.
What's good, family? It's your boy Just Blaze, host of the best NBA pod in the game, Above the Rim. Keep it locked each week and join myself and a special guest as we tackle the latest rumblings in the league. If it's happening in the NBA, you know I got you covered. Make sure you subscribe on all platforms and leave that 5-star review. Let's get it.
Y'all, what's up, Red? Thanks for the bike. What you got on my 40, homie?
I thought you had $200.
I do, but I won't spend Red's money.
I'm broke.
Give it up, Red.
Come on, DEEBO, stall him out.
Where you got my 40, homie?
I don't have nothing.
Yeah, you got something. Why you tripping, DEEBO? Shut up, fuck, I'll knock your ass out.
Oh, man, that's messed up. What you giving back his chain?
What chain?
Talk about it!
You are now tuned in to Above the Rim. Hoops talk for the streets.
Family, what's good? Welcome back once again to another edition of Above the Rim. Hoops talk for the streets. You already know how we do, family. Brought to you as always. It's your host, Justin, aka Just Blaze. Family, you know the drill. As always, you can get in contact with me. You can always hit me up and follow me on Twitter at JustBlaze_513, on IG, JustBlaze513, on Facebook, search Above the Rim Podcast. Mail the show as well, Above the Rim NBA Podcast at gmail.com. Tap in and leave the family a voicemail. The line is always open, 908-718-1592. A lot of people have reached out, asked me how can they support the show as well. You can do that by copying your merch as always. I guess I have some merch too. So we merch brothers up in here in this show. Link is in my bio. Very easy to find, family. You want to send some love, Cash App, whatever, $, Just Blaze 513. Leave your boy a review on iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. Check out the YouTube page as well for the visuals. Make sure you're going in and liking and throwing your boy a little comment, all that good stuff. I appreciate it. Link is in my bio. Easy to find. And joining me this week, family. Listen, man, every time I get my boy on the show, especially for an episode, I say this and I'm going to say it again. One of my favorite podcasters in Atlanta, especially in these streets, man. Host of the BAWL on Bulls pod and now also the CHGO pod. Make sure you check him out. Also is there as well. My brother's out here doing exceptional work. All around solid brother. One of my good friends that I met in this podcast game for many years now. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
One of my voices of Bulls Nation. I'll tell you that right now. My dog, Big Dave. How you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm good, bro, man. Thanks for having me on. It's good to see you. This is like my first time actually seeing you physically while doing this, bro.
Yeah, exactly. We wasn't doing the visuals before, but now, it's a bit, we see each other from a distance, but now we can actually do this together. We already had wild episodes already without seeing each other. So,
yeah, it's true.
Especially high energy. And that's why I always applaud you too, my brother, because especially with the guys like myself in this pod game too, a lot of brothers don't bring the energy. So you one of the few guys that bring the energy with you. You know what I'm talking about. A lot of these dudes be stale, monotone. I don't want to hear it. I want to fall asleep. But so I applaud you as always, brother. You bring the energy just like me, and I appreciate it.
Hey, man, thanks for saying that. Thanks for having me on, man. I'm just being me out here, Just. That's all I can do.
That's what I'm talking about. That's all we can do, man. Yeah, so family, if you couldn't tell already, it's a Bulls episode we got coming up there. Chicago Bulls episode. And before we do that, let's get into some copping and dropping. As always, how we start. We talking about home court advantage, man. We getting down to the stretch run of the season right now, my brother. Teams are fighting for playoff position. Some teams are still ducking others in the East. I see some in the East and the West ducking other teams. I'm not trying to hear that. I went on Twitter talking about that earlier. In the East, seeds 1 through 5 are separated by only 5 games. Seeds 1 through 8 are separated by 9. In the West, seeds 2 through 6 are separated for about 5 games. So this year, probably more than ever, teams can't really try to dictate their matchup as much as they usually would try to do. And it can change on a nightly basis. So the Bulls coming into the All-Star break, were tied for first. Now they dropped down a few spots. We got to talk about that. So with that being said, copping or dropping this take, Dave. Home court advantage will be the most important factor in this year's playoffs. Copping or drop.
Ooh, you mean like overall or just the Bulls? Like overall?
Oh, it could be the Bulls or overall. Either one.
For the Bulls, I definitely cop it. You can look at their record and see that they need home court to be even more successful than they have been. Their home record, they are awesome at home. It's the record shows it. on the road, they have definitely struggled. I believe among the teams that are vying for the playoffs in the East, the only team with the worst road record than the Bulls are the Atlanta Hawks. So it's important to say all that. It's important. Overall, I will drop it because I grew up with Jordan, bro. You know what I mean? It's hard. You know what I mean? I grew up watching that.
Every team.
And it didn't matter where we was playing. Everybody was getting it. It didn't matter your home court. You know what I mean? It just mattered, you know, the sneakers he had on it. And you know what I mean? And we throwing it up and we playing ball and that's it. So it's an important thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's not. It is. But to go far and to go win it all, no, man. Like, it's about what you got in yourself and, you know, it's about your team that's around you, man. So, I mean, you play all this stuff and you play all these games all season just to get, you know, number one, number two, you know, up there. Because, you know, yeah, everybody likes being at home. You know, it's a little more comfortable, sleeping in your own bed, all that stuff. Yeah, all that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? All that is a thing. But it is not the reason, I think, why teams are losing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will never hear that as an excuse as to why you lost in the finals because you didn't have home court advantage. No, bro. Like, you got to go in there and you got to go win. That's actually when you win on the road, that actually endears you going forward in your career. People will say, dude, he won on the road in a hostile environment. Like, look how he did it like that. That matters out there. Great teams win on the road, man. Great teams. Yes, it's what they do. Playing in Madison Square Garden. Why do you think people get honored when they ball out in Madison Square Garden? Because you're doing it in the Mecca. You're doing it in front of so many people who are against you. We watched Trae Young just do it. And he's just how people getting them honors. In the Garden. Knicks always get smacked. Somebody always getting a career high in the Garden. The tickets is high, career highs are high at the same time. Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. It's important, man. Like, playing, but just winning is what's important. So I'm gonna drop it for the league, but for the Bulls and my expectations of them, where I have them, I'll cop that. I like that you said that, man, because the answer that I had written down, I partially cop is the same thing as well. I'm glad you said I partially cop this too, because I think to me it matters more in the East than it does in the West, in my particular opinion. In the West, I think there's three teams that can go in anyone's building, anyone's gym and win. Obviously the Suns, Warriors too. And to me, I think the Grizzlies could go in anybody's building in the West and definitely take a game. In the East though, how I look at it, I'm not gonna lie to you, I still feel like the East is wide open. I've been on Twitter talking about it a lot. I think a lot of these teams can beat each other. Many of the teams pretty much can beat each other in the East. And if any one of those teams, you know, taking early, any one of those top teams, I would say, taking early L, I don't think it will be all about home court advantage. I think it's going to be a lot about matchups, a lot about coaching there too as well. But then for some of these, if there might be a game in the series that maybe tips the series, and that's when I think home court advantage is going to come into play. Because if you look at a lot of these matchups, they're very similar. Like Bulls, Celtics, that could be a toss-up in a lot of people's eyes. Philly, Brooklyn, that could be a toss-up in a lot of people's eyes. You know, there's a couple of series. Maybe, I wouldn't say the Bucks, but maybe if the Raptors play another team, maybe if the Raptors play, who's the 3 seed? Right now, I believe it's Milwaukee. The Bucks, Milwaukee, yeah, they may have a hard time with Milwaukee, but maybe anywhere else with the Raptors, you know, they could maybe give them a run for their money. So to me, the home court, I agree with you. Home court is more important in the East, and like you said, and according to your Bulls, they are one of the few teams. I got like a few teams that need home court advantage. I think the Bulls, Philly, and I think Boston are 3 teams in the East that I think need home court in order to advance in this postseason. So it's gonna be, is it a factor? Yes. Is it the most important factor? Man, it could go either way, man. It's gonna be sticky in the East, my brother. So I know you fighting for the Bulls to get that 4th seed, so they can, you know, at least. I mean, there's still ways from they could get to 2 or 3 still if they play out a little bit better. But I know they're gonna need that some type of home court advantage in this postseason, man. And I know you agree with that as well. Yeah, they're going to need that. It's important to them just by what we've seen them do and what we've seen them play. Like, if I can sit here and name you, like, the top 5 Bulls plays, like, the majority of them, like, 3 of them are at home. You know what I mean? Like, the only two of them on the road are, like, Demar Derozan's back-to-back buzzer beaters. You know what I'm saying? And notice what I said. Those were buzzer beaters. You know what I mean? Like, they had to win it at the end on some incredible shots from Demar Derozan to even get those victories. You know what I mean? Because they were on the road. But they look better at home. It's just what it is. And I don't have a problem with that. I've been watching trash for the past 7 years, just like I don't I don't have an issue, you know what I'm saying, with them having to be at home, you know what I'm saying? And I think they're more comfortable there and they can win there. I'm just enjoying the season as I'm watching it because I haven't seen this in quite a long time. So I'm okay with it, with them needing home court advantage. If they don't get it, I'm still okay with it because that means we're still going to the playoffs, and I want that too.
See, that's why I rock with you, Dave. You know, the level of optimism is always high on you, bro. That level of optimism. Because if you look on Twitter, some Bulls fans, they're already getting all irate because of the record past the All-Star break. They're already getting a little bit crazy. So, matter of fact, let's start talking about your Bulls right now. We might as well get into it, man. Currently a top 5 seed in the East right now, going into the All-Star. Currently a top 5 seed in the East. They were tied for first going into the All-Star break. I think they were tied with Miami, I believe. They had a 38-21 record before the All-Star game. Since then, they haven't really been able to recapture that same magic. They're 4-9 since after the All-Star break. All NBA type seasons for Demar Derozan, Zach Lavine spearheading the offense. Demar's averaging 27, 5-5. Lavine 24, 5-5. Vooch with a up and down kind of year, but the numbers are still solid. They still look good, 18-11. Injuries to me have been pretty much the theme for a lot of the Chicago Bulls season. Unfortunately, despite some of the new additions, Londo missed some time, Caruso missed a lot of time, Pat Williams missed some significant time that went under the radar that people are not realizing. So the Bulls have had basically a lot of highs and lows this season, but a lot of highs because, like you said before, they weren't as good last year. So this is anything is an upgrade, especially to going towards the playoffs. So you cover the Bulls all season long. You've been watching them all season long. Give me your thoughts on the overall season and which Bull, if there is one or two, maybe three, that have impressed you the most this season. Who's impressed Big Dave this season, man? Talk to me.
Oh, man. Well, I would say, overall, the season for me, I've loved it. I'm truly enjoying it. I haven't seen this kind of winning. I'm like I said, the stat I have put out that kind of went everywhere. But when I said Zach Lavine had never won 4 games in a row in his NBA career, that got out the way the first 4 games of the season. You know what I'm saying? Immediately, that was gone and that was done for. And they went on a couple of other winning streaks after that. You know what I'm saying? So I had that. That was very good for me to see Demar Derozan with these Herculean efforts that he was putting forth for the Chicago Bulls, man. That was also amazingly fun to watch and great to see. Watching the development of Ayo Dosunmu and guys like that. Watching Lonzo Ball run that point like he was running it, man. All that stuff was fun, and all that is stuff I hadn't seen in 7 years. It was a lot of just things I had not seen from this Bulls team. And I know a lot of Bulls fans, they were upset, you know what I mean, because of the slump and what's going down. But me, I have a memory. You know what I'm saying? I remember what I was watching. I'm like, trash? No, I know what trash looks like, bro. They was hot garbage years ago, man. I was watching it, okay? I saw it when they forgot they needed 5 people on the court. You know what I mean? When Felicio forgot he should be in the game in the fourth quarter with seconds left. I saw it. Denzel knocking over Zach Lavine while he's trying to take a last second shot. You know what I'm saying? That's the stuff that I remember, and that's the stuff I'm used to when I'm sitting there watching this. So the Bulls are about to have their first winning season in 7 years. You know what I'm saying? The Bulls look like they're going to the playoffs. Even if they end up in the play-in, there will be postseason play here in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? For the first time in a very, very long time. So for me, that's a success because I was just looking for them to start walking because the body wasn't even moving before. You know what I'm saying? So they had to go to rehab. You know what I mean? Some physical therapy, bro, to learn how to actually start walking again. So the fact that I'm watching them, man. So, so I'm watching them take these steps and I'm very happy with that. So, and again, my expectations weren't a lot of Bulls fans' expectations. I said it on your show here. I had them at a 6 seed. You know what I'm saying? That's where I had them. Yes. You know what I mean? So I'm like, they're looking like, okay, they look like a team that's going to be a 6 seed right now. So my expectations weren't huge for that. Who has impressed me the most? I kind of touched it. It's easy to say Demar for sure. Because Demar, I mean, when you're reaching what I call mythological levels, which is Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan, when you're reaching up to that kind of levels and doing things, you're having an incredible year, okay? What he's done, nobody really expected. I thought he'd be good, but to do it at the level he's doing it at, I didn't have him at he should be in MVP discussion kind of level, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But I knew he'd be good, but he is been amazing. You know what I'm saying? But playing these elite teams, now they're double teaming them. They're looking for them.
Yes.
All these kind of things. It gets a little more tough.
He is the scouting report now.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll see how it goes going forward with that. But as far as the person who's impressed me the most, it's been Ayo Dosunmu. That's who has truly impressed me the most. A rookie coming out, being the 38th pick in the draft, you know what I'm saying, in the second round. Even though he was voted top point guard in college, he won that Bob Cousy Award in college as top point guard. Still, 38th pick, second round. A lot of people had him coming along slowly. A lot of people had him going into the G League, and getting some development. Even when he came in the summer league, he didn't blow anybody away. You know what I mean? In that summer league, what he did. But man, I'm talking about from game one when they played Detroit. That dude has never. He rarely looked lost on the floor. He's guarding some of the best point guards, and this is a point guard heavy league, bro. And he's guarding some of the best out there and having success guarding some of the best out there. Until recently, that All-Star break, he was shooting 40% from three. So his baseline three, it was killing people. It was important. The highest compliment I gave him was when Lonzo Ball went down, I didn't bat an eye. I was like, oh, Ayo's there. Okay, we'll be cool until you get back. Yeah, you feel me? This is a rookie I'm talking about.
Exactly.
And I'm like, yeah, we cool. You know what I mean? Like, Ayo will hold it down. You know what I'm saying? To do what he does. And yeah, we'll be all right with that. That's the biggest compliment I give him is I didn't shake or tremble at all or anything like that.
Yeah.
But he's hit his wall for sure, because all rookies do. You know what I mean? Like he's been slumping this All-Star break because again, teams are now game planning. For him. You know what I mean? They're running things at
also
him.
Now as well.
On the scouting report, just he's on the report. Makes a huge difference because teams are knowing and learning your ins and outs and what you do well and what you don't do well. Which again is another huge compliment to how good he's been playing. So for me, yeah, he for me has been the most impressive thing.
I like that you said that because I agree with you, man. He's definitely been one of the most impressive Bulls and one of the Bulls that have come out of nowhere from, I guess, the untrained eye, I would guess I say. People who don't watch basketball enough. So we talk about Ayo, right? His defensive intensity, defensive versatility, and most importantly for me, his effort. I fuck spit. His effort for me has been sensational. Like there's a lot of times during the game, he's picking up people full court. His defensive reads have been phenomenal, and he never looks out of place on the court, even on both sides of the ball. Because there's sometimes there's some rookies, you could be a young player, you may be great on one side of the ball, and then you may be a little lost on the other. But he was excellent on both sides of the ball. His basketball IQ is definitely up there, and he has great size for a point guard, which is why he's able to defend a lot of the guards that he does defend. So, like you said, when Lonzo went down, he's a big point guard who has great defensive versatility. You plug in Ayo right there. I wouldn't go that far as to say a clone, but as far as what the skills that they both do well, they do a lot of skills well. They do a lot of skills the same for both those guys. So I'm very happy about, and I'm very applauding his growth also as well this season. And I'm sure he's impressed all of Bulls Nation, and he should be up there in the Rookie of the Year rank, because I know he's probably not going to win Rookie of the Year, but he should be top 5, top 7. I feel like any lower than 7 to me is a damn crime, but I would say top 7, and a lot of people didn't have that coming in. They weren't even looking at the Bulls players as who they're going to develop as a rookie. They were trying to look to see if they can mesh all of this talent together. So I applaud you for saying that, and I got to give him Ayo credit as well. And his name is on the board now, so that's a step up. His name is on the board.
Yeah, that's a huge step up, man. And again, he's a rookie. And I can't stress that enough. He is a second round rookie, man. And he comes in with a chip on his shoulder, just like he talks about it all the time. Like, he's just got a chip on his shoulder when he plays, and how he asks a million questions to all the veterans out there. Like Demar Derozan talked about that a lot, like how inquisitive he is, how much he wants to learn, but just how much he wants to get better. And that is super key. You know what I mean? He doesn't just want to be happy to be here. You know, and be a nice story. He's trying to be great. You know what I mean? And that says a lot about him. Yeah,
I appreciate him for not being a cool story and actually putting in some work this year.
Right, exactly. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So I agree. So let's talk about Demar Derozan a little bit. We talk about who's been most impressive this season. Obviously, Demar Derozan is one name that you can't ignore on the Chicago Bulls. And not many people, I could probably count on my hand. I don't know if I could count any on my hand that thought Demar Derozan was going to have a All-NBA MVP caliber season for the Chicago Bulls, man. 27, 5-5, as I talked about before. the mid-range messiah, we gonna call him, my man DEEBO, as we gonna call this episode, self-titled DEEBO. I always love this game, man, because as a lot of you guys know, people who listen to the show know, I'm a CP3 guy, and I love players that care enough to make the mid-range an emphasis on their game. So Demar's one of those guys that's always been my radar. I always loved Demar Derozan's games, and to me, the mid-range shot, to me, I always said is the most important shot in the game, in my opinion, because it's the essence of pure basketball to me. When you play in the park, you in the schoolyard, you in anywhere, half-court ball, there's no threes. It's only twos. It's only twos, layups, dunks. So everything is damn near mid-range when you're in the park, right? So everything is a mid-range. So that's why I always appreciate guys like KD, Demar, CP, all those guys, because that's how we always play in the school. There is no damn three-pointer. It's a straight mid-range, bucket for bucket. I don't care who's on me right now. There's no fouls called. So I appreciate that. Mid-range game allows for the most contact, I feel like, on the defender on a night-to-night basis. So like I said, I applaud those brothers for bringing back, not even really bringing back the mid-range, because real hoopers know, but really making it a point of emphasis to really focus in on the mid-range. So when he came over this summer, he signed a 3-year, $85 million deal. A lot of people in NBA circles said he was overpaid, a bad fit, all of that with Lavine. Now look at that. Damn near top 5 MVP candidate, leading the Bulls to a playoff berth. And February averaged, 34 a game on over 55% shooting. Wilt Jordan numbers. That's what I'm talking about. And I said on this very show with you, I think preseason it was, that so many people are talking about DeMar DeRozan being overrated that he's now become underrated. Now, underrated. A guy who averages over 20 points is underrated. So talk to me about what you've seen from DeMar DeRozan this season and how impressed you've been with DeMar DeRozan's NBA caliber season. MVP caliber season, excuse me.
Man, I mean, how could you not be impressed with what you're seeing? There was a point in time in the season where every shot he took just felt like it was going in. Like, it was weird to see him miss a shot. You know what I'm saying? It was like, wait, that didn't go in, but that always goes in. It was so strange, but he was getting anything he wanted. But it wasn't just because teams weren't trying to guard him. His footwork is exquisite.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it is amazing to watch his footwork out there. Like, and he makes those tough shots, you know, with those taking 3 pump fakes and fading and still, you know, draining that on you. That's not easy. You know what I mean? Those are tough, difficult shots. Oh, it's so nice. And he'll be fouled when he does it. You know what I'm saying? And he knows how to get to the free throw line at the same time. So it's been incredible, and it's been truly impressive and fun to watch. And then watching him do it in the fourth quarter too. Watching him do it in the money time when you got to have it. Spicy. He was always coming up big, and he carried this team pretty much all year long. And you just were wondering, man, when is it going to slow down? It's starting to slow down now because teams are double team. He said it recently. He said, I'm seeing more double teams than I've ever seen in my career. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, that is a compliment. You know what I mean? That means you are killing us.
That means you're that guy.
We're not going to have
a double team. You're that guy.
And I mean every time, not like a double team, every time you touch the basketball, 2 people are looking at you and wondering, what are you doing? That is saying a whole lot about the game that he has had this season. Yeah, he was definitely having that MVP kind of season. For me, he had reached as high as number 2, like on my list. He's not there anymore.
I agree.
Yours is what? Okay, yeah. He's not there anymore,
and
because
that could change
a lot
on
of
a
that
day-to-day, week-to-week too.
Correct. As your boy Steve, they say, it's fluid.
It's fluid.
You know what I mean? It's fluid, man. But and he's not there right now. But that's honestly, his thing was going to be because of winning. You know what I mean? So that's the other reason you had to include what he was doing, was because the Bulls were so high up in the East in the standings that you had to include that. Now they're slumping a little bit. You know what I'm saying? With the losing, then he comes down also. You know, that's just how it goes. But he's still having a phenomenal season. Like I love how you said that. Just he's so underrated he's so overrated that he's underrated. You know what I mean? Like that's so crazy, because it makes 100% sense when you say that, man. Like, you just forget like how good he really was. And I love that he came out and showed it this year for the Chicago Bulls, because he kind of put that complete game together. He kind of took what he did in Toronto and took what he did in San Antonio, and now we're reaping the benefits of both of that. You're seeing the scorer and you're seeing the facilitator at the same time. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's been great.
Yo, I couldn't have said that any better, because that is 1,000% true. He took his scoring aspect from Toronto, his facilitating aspect, because he was playing a lot of power forward in San Antonio for Greg Popovich. He showed him a a new way to play, a more versatile way to play that can maximize his strengths and maximize his career. He put all of that together and he brought it into Chicago. And mid-range master, as we always knew, still gets to the rim as he always has before. And he's turned himself into a high-level facilitator. Like, I know a lot of people sneezing at 5 assists, but I'm like, listen, there's some point guards that don't give you 5 assists a night. Are you kidding me? This guy's he's playing the 2, 3, and the 4 right now. I don't know why NBA All-Star had him voted in as a guard. That was kind of weird to me because he doesn't even play 2 guard for the Bulls, but he can play either one of those damn positions, 2, 3, and 4, and he facilitates a lot. He brings the ball up the floor a lot too. So DeRozan really, the progression of his game, and also in that aspect, one thing that we both didn't mention, the leadership. He's becoming a much better of a leader. I mean, he was always a leader before. I don't want to discredit him and say that he wasn't a leader before, but now they really asked him to be the leader and really asked him to, coming into the team, there was a lot of backlash from people who don't know basketball saying that you can't fit. And now we need you to really be mature about it, harness that whatever those criticism, what people were saying, and really make an effort to make it work with Lavine, make it work with Lonzo, make it work with Billy Donovan, because Billy Donovan could be a little shaky at times, my opinion. But, you know, I'm not a big Billy D fan, but I got to applaud the leadership out of DeMar DeRozan, man. And I feel like, would you say he's the leader or co-leader, I guess, of the Chicago Bulls this season? What do you think about it from your vantage point?
Yeah, I think maybe co-leader is good. You know what I mean? With a higher percentage on his end, but definitely co-leader because Zach Lavine is a phenomenal leader as well, and they definitely follow his lead too because he's been here the longest. You know what I mean? And he suffered the most. Yes, whoever's left on this roster. So yeah, man, like you got to big up Zach also. But I mean, how could you not be? I mean, when he's showing up to Ayo Dosunmu's jersey retirement at college, you know, for University of Illinois, that's leadership. You know what I'm saying? When he's showing up to G League games, you know what I'm saying, to watch certain players play. That's that leadership kind of stuff. You know what I mean? When he's the main guy that you see out there being vocal for this team. He's been on so many podcasts this year, man. Tons. CJ McCollum's, you know, Serge Ibaka, you know, all that. He's been on all these podcasts repping your team. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Repping your Chicago Bulls. That's kind of leadership. And watching how he plays on the court, you know what I mean? Like, he's not... He will yell when he's not getting his fouls. Like, I believe he has 11 techs. He's got 11.
I didn't think it was that much.
Yeah, bro. He's got 11.
15? What's the limit? 15?
16.
Oh, 16. Oh, damn. You pushing that
16 is the limit.
Playoffs included in that?
I think playoffs are included in that.
Yeah, because it doesn't reverse. I think it goes on for the whole season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So he's pushing that. You know what I'm saying? But he's pushing that. He's getting up there. You know what I mean? And it's funny because I haven't really disagreed with his technicals and why he was upset. And I was like, yeah, I feel him. Like, yeah, he got fouled. Like, he's upset. Or, yeah, the team is getting blown out and he doesn't like it. Or I'm watching him rip towels and stuff on the sideline. You know what I mean? Like, he's getting upset about that. But yeah, to answer your question though, yeah, he has definitely been that leader for the Chicago Bulls, man, because of what he's doing, especially on the floor, but also of what he's done off the floor.
Yeah, I agree. Those are phenomenal points because a lot of those things in terms of leadership, they go unnoticed. A lot of those stuff off the court and helping out your teammates, especially being there for the young players and grooming a lot of those young players. So shout out to DeMar for that, man. He's been excellent, and all the naysayers can shut up now that he doesn't fit. They can shut up now. But yeah, so I'm glad we brought up Zach Lavine because we got to talk about him as well, of course. Now we know DeMar DeRozan obviously has gotten a lot of the pub and a lot of the hype for the Chicago Bulls and their resurgence this season. But to me, I think Lavine's play has been flying under the radar a little bit. For me, my personal opinion, the numbers damn near the same from last year, just a couple points low. I think he was 27 last year, 24 this year, I believe. But to me, the key for me with Zach Lavine is that he sacrificed scoring for winning, in my opinion. That's how I'm going to talk about Zach Lavine. Taking 2 shots less this season than last season. It shows to me his willingness to adapt and his willingness to put his ego to the side and really allow a guy like DeMar DeRozan to come in and really flourish. Now, we talked about leadership. We said it's a co-leader of the team. Now, in order for there to be a co-leader, the previous leader must be able to come back and bring back some of that leadership or some of the reins that he has on the team and allow that new guy to come in, embrace him, and embrace the team as well. So I really got to applaud Zach Lavine for that. And that, to me, has where he's had the most growth, in my opinion. Not numbers-wise, damn near the same. He's always been a great scorer. He's playing, a lot of people were saying it was empty stats, which is definitely not. You can see now he's still putting up the same numbers in a winning season. But to me, it's the increased leadership and it's just the overall matureness, the maturation of his game this season, and knowing when to shoot, when not to shoot, when to defer a little bit to Demar when he's gotten it going. Also to defer a little bit to Caruso, a little bit controlling the offense for a tap since he's been starting at point guard lately, and also Lonzo when he's in there, giving him some opportunities to facilitate. We can't. I know people are forgetting Alonzo was there, but he's still on the roster. Damn.
I ain't forget him. I miss him so much.
Me neither. It's ball control over here. I ain't forget him. But,
I miss him so much.
Yeah, for real. So yeah, me and you are big Lonzo Ball guys. So I just want to applaud Zach Lavine on the leadership aspect and talk to me about if you feel like his great season has gone a little bit unnoticed, and talk to me about what you feel like his growth has been this season.
I don't think it's gone unnoticed because one, he's an all-star. Like that's the best way I can say it to you. Like he's in all-star, now a 2-time all-star for Zach Lavine. So I don't think that's gone. Very well deserved. I mean, goodness gracious, you just read the numbers. Like, dude, he's phenomenal out there watching him play. He's also kind of taking a step back too because the knee. He's having issues with his knee right now. And it looks like it's one of those things where he just has to manage it.
Yes.
And he can't get really anything done to it until the season ends, and then I'm sure he'll have surgery and he'll get right for the next season and things like that. But it's hindered some things in his game for sure. The elevation, what I'm saying, the quickness of that first step. Because for a long time, Justin, I've said it to you, I thought Zach Lavine had top 3 quickest first steps in the game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it was vicious. That dude make that first step, he was gone. You know what I mean? It was something special. And I watch guys like Anthony Edwards and Giannis and guys like that, and I think of him, you know what I'm saying? And of course, John Morant, those first steps are incredible. Yeah, he's me. Favorite player in the league. But yeah, man, like Zach, you're right. He sacrificed a lot. And I think he was okay with it. He continued to say that even before Demar got here, he had no problem sacrificing. He wanted to win. He kept saying that over and over again. I want to win. Yep. And as my dad always told me, saying ain't like doing. You know what I mean? So you wanted people to hear what you're saying, but you got to show and prove on it. And he showed and improved immediately. He was like, yeah, Demar, go ahead, shoot. You know what I'm saying? Fourth quarter, handle it. You know what I mean? It didn't matter. He showed it in that Knicks game. Was the first time you really saw it. That first game early on in the season that they lost by 1. When everybody in that stadium, I was at that game. Everybody in that stadium thought Zach was getting that ball and the ball was going up. Yeah. Demar was like, nope, I got it.
That was a big game too. There was a lot of hype around that game. I remember that. Nick fans was talking wild shit around that game.
Brother, colossal.
I remember that shit too. Yep.
Colossal. And I loved every second of it. It was great. But it was Joakim Noah night. You know what I mean? It was a big thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was a big thing, man. And it was a 1-point game, man. Like, and Demar taking that shot and airballing it, like he didn't hit anything on it. But Zach Lavine, everybody thought, he would be upset, you know what I mean, be mad. No, he was like, all right, you missed. And even Demar was like, I'll take it again next time. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens. Yep. And I love the way Zach handled that because he did not care. He was all right with it. He was like, hey, man, it was a good shot. He was in a position to win. He'll take it again. You know what I'm saying? I don't have an issue with that. If I'm open, then I'll take it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, man. So I like that aspect of him as far as that kind of leadership. You know what I'm saying? Showing he doesn't have that ego. You know what I mean? Like you pointed out. Showing that he's okay with, taking the back seat as long as it's about winning. That's what it's about. You know what I mean? Now, there's certain things of his game, just that still kind of rear their ugly head to me that I see. One of them is he still gets stripped way too easy. You know what I mean? Like I it's been like that for a while.
Surprisingly,
it's still there. Yeah, man. Like he works on so many facets of its game, but that one right there has always struggled with. Like you can just get that ball real easy from him. Put a little pressure on him. He'll turn that thing over. Like we've seen it. We continue to see it. It hasn't reared its head so much this season because we've had other ball handlers.
Yes. You've
had Lonzo, you've had Ayo, you've had Demar, and things like that. But now with those guys being hurt and being out, Zach's being asked, to handle the ball sometimes. And you see those turnovers occurring. We saw it just this last game. But you see them turnovers kind of occurring with Zach Lavine. So he's got to straighten that up. I'm watching him do something new also, where he's not being as aggressive in the first half. He's trying to facilitate more in the first half. And then in the third quarter, he's trying to turn it on and go to work. That's cool. I don't really like it. I don't really like it like that. You know what I mean? Because of what this team needs.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason I'm saying that. Bro, I need that. But then I have to think, his need, man. Maybe he's trying to play and adapt to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, I know I can't just use it all like I would before. I have to kind of save some things and use it that way to attack. And so, yeah. And the other thing I like, Justin, I'll finish with this. Like, I love the fact he started to get calls now. Like, Zach Lavine never got calls, man. Ever, man. He would get beat up. You would just see it, man. Brother's light skin. You could see the scratches. Man. Everywhere on him. You know what I'm saying? It was bad, dude. It was tough, man. But now, after this All-Star break, he is drawing more contact when he goes to the rim, and he's getting those calls now. He's let him in free throws a couple games. He let him in free throws shooting glass game against the Bucks. He went to the line 6 times. So I like the fact that is happening now for Zach Lavine. For me, that says that they're actually recognizing his status in the league, and it's kind of elevated.
I love that you brought up the free throw shooting, man. Because, you know, when I was doing my season preview, I don't know if people listen back to the show, they can remember this. I talked about 3 players that really need to increase their free throw attempts coming into the season, who I really needed to be more aggressive. It was Zach Lavine, it was Devin Booker, and it was Jason Tatum. 3 guys who don't really get enough of a friendly whistle, who needed to increase their free throw attempts, and it's not really because of their lack of aggressiveness. I don't know what it is. Maybe the rest are just not respecting the aggressiveness going to the rim, or they're just not giving them those BS calls that they give guys like LeBron. You know, they give them little ticky-tack finger, them phantom calls, we call them, that they like to give. They weren't getting the phantom calls these guys were getting. So I do see it increasing a little bit this season, but still not enough for my taste. I still feel like Zach, he does get pummeled a little bit, especially hit on the arm a lot when he goes onto the rim. Devin Booker gets hit a ton of times going into the rim. And Jason Tatum, too, Tatum is the one out of the 3 who just started to get a little bit more calls, more frequently lately. But all 3, I mean, I don't know if it's a light skin thing going on. That you talked about before, that we ain't getting no call. But, you know, I suffer from that, too. I don't want to hear none of that shit. We need our calls, damn it. I talked about the 3 brothers. I'm here. We need the calls. But I ain't gonna lie, man. Those 3, they need to increase their free throw attempts, and I'm glad that it's actually trending in an upward direction. And when we get to the playoffs, these guys need to be getting their calls. It's about to be a riot for these guys. So I do want to applaud Zach Lavine for being more aggressive and really making it a point, because you're gonna need those free throw attempts in the playoffs, man. You need those easy buckets, and you're gonna need those fouls called. And you know he's an exceptional free throw shooter. So once he gets to the line, it's money. So
it's money. Yeah.
I think that was a phenomenal point about the free throw shooting. Hopefully he can increase that, man. You think he can leading up to the playoffs?
Yeah, I like the fact he's getting like 6 to 8 attempts a game. I think that's really important because, you know, Demar usually gets to the line. Yo, it was so weird. This Bucks game, Demar didn't shoot 1 free throw.
I know. Like, I think whole first half, they didn't have any free throws, right? Oh, maybe.
They shot their first one in the first half with about 3 minutes left.
Ridiculous.
Or it was either, no. I'm sorry. It was 35 seconds.
Ridiculous.
It was 35 seconds left in the first half, and they shot their first 2 free throws, man. Like,
that's wild.
Yeah. And a lot of people say it's because they weren't going to the lane because of the wall off defense, you know, that the Bucks play and things like that. Like, no, bro, like they just weren't getting some of those calls. You know, Demar Derozan not getting any calls should show you that. That man, that's all he does is get to the line.
You know, also what I noticed too, now that you're talking about it and I'm thinking about it, every team that's considered their offense is considered a quote unquote jump shooting type of team, their calls are much lower. Because the Bulls are technically considered a jump shooting team. The Suns are considered a jump shooting team. If they don't have a real charging interior presence like a Giannis, like a LeBron, I'm just thinking like a John Morant, guys who their main asset is attacking the rim, then the whole team suffers from the lack of free throw shooting. And the rest need to get it together, because we came into this league, we came into the season talking about the new rules. What they call it? Respect for the game. What do they call it?
Yeah, right. Whatever they call it.
Whatever they call it.
They were enforcing it early on and it changed.
Come on, man. Then you got Embiid and Harden out here getting damn 50 free throws a night. Come on now. I don't want to see that. That's ridiculous. That's another issue. Oh my God. But yeah, I agree with you, man. They got to increase that free throw shooter 100% because they're going to need it in the playoffs for sure. And speaking of the playoffs, right? The Bulls right now, they have a lot of injuries going into the play. Well, not really a lot of injuries, but they're slightly recovering and dealing with injuries also at the same time. So we briefly discussed it before. Caruso, Zoe, Pat just came back, which was much needed. I thought he would have done a better job against Giannis last night, but maybe I don't know, maybe he's still getting his feet wet a little bit, because I was like, damn, the Bulls got Pat back. He should do a better job, but it didn't work out that way last game. But hopefully in the playoffs, so they don't have to run into Giannis. But Kobe White missed some time too that people aren't talked about. We talked about before about Zach Lavine. He may not be 100% fully really until the offseason. So I said in my last episode too that I'm a little bit worried about the Bulls going into the playoffs because of their injuries. And if they don't have home court, I think these injuries might bite them in the ass, but hopefully they don't. But in regards to injuries, we're going to talk about the supporting cast. Is the supporting cast enough, in your opinion, to offset some of those injuries to at least win one round, I would say, in the playoffs? Do you feel like it's going to be a real hindrance, or how do you think the injuries will affect the playoff run?
That's a good question. I got to be real. If they're still having the injuries they're having now, no, they're gonna struggle. They're gonna have problems. They've had issues scoring off the bench pretty much all season because of those injuries. So they have really, really struggled with that. Like, guys haven't been in their roles, because if you remember early on when the Bulls were cooking, everybody was pretty much healthy except, for Kobe White and even Patrick Williams. You can say that as well.
Well, he went down like the first month, right?
Back in that Knicks game. That's when Patrick Williams went down.
That Knicks game? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. That was very early on. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, very early, dude. That was like early October. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When he went down. So, and he was supposed to be out 6 to 8 months, and he came back in 5.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Patrick Williams
for real,
being a mutant. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to him. They need you.
Needed him bad, bro. Needed him. But the reason they were looking so well is because everybody was kind of in their role, right? So, Javonte being at the 4, they had played Javonte at the 4 in the preseason.
Yes.
So it wasn't out of the ordinary to see him there. So to have him there and everybody else kind of in their place, you know what I mean? Kind of in their role, kind of doing what they can do from that role, which is where they are comfortable at, I should say. You saw it come looking all right. And that defense they had was just absolutely vicious. I call it the death by 1,000 cuts defense. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really what it is.
Yes.
Like these guards that are about 6'4", 6'5", that are long, as soon as you come, man, they're at that ball like some piranhas.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're just trying to get it hungry, and they're gone. As soon as they get it, it's transition all day long, and they're scoring. That has gone away. You know what I'm saying? Because of the injuries and the guys that haven't been there. And obviously the biggest key is Lonzo. But losing Caruso was huge too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because he was that defensive anchor for them and that IQ guy.
Yes.
For them coming in off the bench.
He made very high IQ plays on both ends.
All the time, Jess. He really did. And he let everybody know where they needed to be in their place. You know what I'm saying? And it made it simple for guys like Ayo. You know what I'm saying? And you've seen guys like Kobe White's defense improve this year. I'm not saying he's, locking people down or nothing like that, but it's improvement.
Yes.
And that's all I was looking for with Kobe White with that. So, and that's contagious. Like, defense is everybody wants to score.
Yeah, defense
offense isn't contagious.
Defense is all effort to me.
Yes, man. It's effort and it's contagious. That kind of thing is contagious.
Yes.
And Caruso was giving all that. You know what I mean? And so they were biting off all that. And then watching Lonzo defend basically everybody on the floor on certain possessions. Yeah. That dude was phenomenal. Yeah. You just watched the game within the game. He was phenomenal with the things he was doing out there defensively. They lost a lot of that. And those injuries really hurt a lot of that, because Billy had to go to lineups with Tony Bradley coming up in there all the time, starting off.
I'm not a Tony Bradley fan, man. Oh, man.
And because you're a smart man, that's why. and then you had like Troy Brown Jr., and you had to, then you bringing up Tyler Cook. Then, you bringing up Dotson, you bringing up G League guys all of a sudden, because you're dealing with these injuries. That's going to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? So now, once you start getting these guys acclimated and get back, well, now you have the toughest schedule in the NBA after the All-Star break. Now you have the toughest schedule to deal with, and you're still dealing with the injuries. Now teams are looking at you because you're number one. So now it's on you. You know what I'm saying? And you're seeing the results of that. So the results of that just are telling me that if this team isn't healthy, the playoffs, it's going to struggle. I'll say it like that. Yeah, it's going to struggle, bro. But I'm going to just be happy to be there. I promise you, bro.
I feel you on that. So we talked about the supporting cast. We talked about going into the playoffs, right? So I want to talk about maybe a matchup that you fear. Well, I don't like. As a matter of fact, scratch fear. I don't like the word fear because if you go into the playoffs, you shouldn't be scared of no team. You should be ready to play everybody. But if there is a team in the Eastern Conference, Dave, that you don't want to match up with in this playoffs, talk to me. Who is it for you? The team who the Bulls match up worse, or who you definitely don't want to play, who you can avoid in this first round.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I'm going against a lot of our Bulls fans and intelligent Bulls minds when I say this because they actually want to go up against this team and I don't want no parts of them. But that's the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, really?
I don't want no parts of the Milwaukee Bucks, bro. I have a thing about going up against a team that just won a title. You know what I mean? Coming in. Now, to counter that argument, you can look back to like 05, I think it was, when Miami won, or 06, when the Heat won. And the next season they came in, they got the Bulls in the first round. The Bulls swept them. And they put them out of there, you know what I mean, in the first round. That happens. But for me, that's an exception to the rule. You know what I'm saying? And that team on there, they have prime Giannis. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't prime Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Like this is prime Giannis. No disrespect to Shaq at all. But he was getting older. You know what I mean? He was getting a little older and things like that. But they got prime, and they have the size too. You know what I mean? They got Lopez. They got, like I said, Giannis. They got Bobby Portis. And now they can throw Serge Ibaka out there.
I remember you should shout out Portis.
Yes, I did, bro.
Breaking Jaws, Portis. Come on.
Yes, man. My man.
Matter of fact, where's Mirotic right now? He went back to wherever he came from.
Oh.
Get him up out of here.
brother.
He got his jaw broken. Get him up out of here.
You feel what I'm saying? Bobby punched him home.
Whoa,
you know
man. Crazy eyes.
Yeah, he woke up at the crib. That's what happened. He woke up at the crib, bro.
Got
out of there.
2-piece and a bucket.
Oh, man, dude. Hey, man, yes. Shout out to my man, Bobby Portis. Yeah. And you've seen his game, man. Like, adding that three-pointer to his game and just that fire that he always plays with is key. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very important. So, yeah, like, all that size. And like I said, Ibaka having there. And then there's nothing that we've been able to do with Drew Holiday. He just absolutely has been cooking the Bulls when he's out there. And then you throw Chris Middleton, who's not small at all. Put him out there. I'm not saying George Hill's a world beater, but he's a piece. You know what I mean? Just getting him back healthy is important too. So Connington, like, they just got these players. And Grayson now, who I call Dick Grayson. You know what I'm saying? Because
yo, man,
I don't like him at all.
Yo, somebody needs to snuff him on the floor. I'm gonna be honest. Somebody need to snuff him. He been doing this since college. I'm sick of that shit.
Bro, you should have heard my man Matt yesterday on the CHGO podcast, brother. We put out the clip of it today. He just went clean in about that.
You want the smoke?
Man, dude, like, all of it. You know what I'm saying?
Shout
like how Grayson Allen. Yeah, bro, how Grayson was still upright. You know what I'm saying? On some of them just going to the lane and nobody touching him.
No.
Yeah, that's it. No,
by the way,
you gotta put somebody down.
TTK, he should have put him on his back. TTK should have took a flavor. I know he was trying to do a little scuffle at. Who was he scuffling with? Who was that with?
Ibaka.
Oh, that was with Ibaka. Yeah, Ibaka. And then he had something with Thanasis after, I think towards the end of the game, or a little baby scuffle. I'm like, yo, you should have put Grayson Allen on his back. That's what you should have did, TTK. Come on, man. Then we could drop the K off your last name.
Dude, that's why I wanted him. That's why I wanted him, just. Like, these were one of the reasons I wanted him. I was like, cool, we got somebody who got some toughness, who ain't gonna let nobody push us around, you know, and stuff like that. And then he came in talking real greasy, like, no, you can't be hurting my guys like that. You got to answer for that.
This was your night.
Answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, go answer, bro. It was a 30-point blowout. You know what I'm saying? Like, go answer.
You could have took an ejection from that. Come on, man. DeRozan would have paid the fine, yo. Come on, dude.
For real. And I wasn't saying, and I'm not advocating for him to be hurt. I'm just saying you got to put him down.
Come on.
One time, you got to give him a hard foul and let them know you're there. Is all I'm saying, man. You have to let that be known, or teams are just going to continue to run roughshod over. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I don't want him injured. I don't want him injured. You know what I'm saying? I don't advocate for that kind of thing. Ever. But I do want that tough, hard foul. Fouling is allowed in the NBA.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, go foul him, bro.
Listen, bro, you grew up in Chicago. I'm in here in Brooklyn, New York. Come on, when we play in the schoolyard, you know the cat who's talking way too much shit. Usually he gets an elbow to the sternum, you know, something in the throat.
You know what I mean?
You know, something to calm you down because you're talking wild shit. We know you killing right now, but you're talking wild shit. I need to bring you down. But
see, I leave that to y'all little guys, man. See, I was in the paint having to pay for that.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
With y'all, shit to the sternum for me, bro.
You know what I mean? Right, you see what I'm saying?
You're not gonna be reaching over me for that offensive rebound. You getting something in the third.
Man, gotta watch y'all small ones, dog. Y'all got them sharp bows, man. Gotta watch y'all, man.
You got to, man. Got to. We need the room. We need the room, brother. We gotta make room. We gotta make room. Well, 100%. But
oh man,
I like, man, it's crazy, man. Because I'm looking at my notes right now. I said, let me ask Dave, who's the one team he doesn't want to play? You know who I got on my sheet? I got the Bucks too. Is the one team that the Bulls don't want to play. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, damn, great minds think alike, because that's the one team I think really is a matchup problem for the Bulls. I'm not gonna lie. And to me, it's obviously the size. Also, to me, it's size. One of the things, rebounding. Bulls are one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. I really don't like that. I know Vooch, he gets you 11, but it's a soft 11 rebounds a night. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a hard 11. It's just a, easy defensive rebounds that fall into your lap, 11 rebounds. So, and then also tall wings. To me, the Bulls wings, they're not tall enough. Now, Pat Williams is what? 6'8", 6'9", kind of, give and take.
Yeah, he's around there.
He's going to be going against a guy like Giannis, who's 6'10", 6'11". He's going to have to guard maybe Ibaka if he's playing the 4, maybe Portis if he's playing the 4. And so teams that have really tall wings, I think are really going to give the Bulls some problems in the playoffs. And to me, in the East, there's only 2 teams like that. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets with KD. Who on the Bulls is really going to guard a KD at 6'10", 6'11"? Who's really going to get a real hand in on it? Nobody in actuality can, but you got to make it a little bit tougher. PJ Tucker did a great job last year in the postseason. Bulls don't have a PJ Tucker on their team. They had Caruso is great on defense, but he's not really going to affect no KD or no Giannis. I'm going to be honest here. He's too small for that. So I would say the Bucks first, Nets second are 2 teams that I don't want to see the Bulls match up with, because that wing size is a problem.
It's a huge issue, man. Even when we played the Nets, even though we beat them a couple times, but they had no answer for Kevin Durant. But nobody does. You know what I'm saying? Nobody has an answer for Kevin Durant. It's just not a thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But it's playoff Kevin Durant is a very scary thought. You know what I'm saying? That's a very scary issue. And you know what? I would throw the Heat in there too.
Yeah.
Strictly because of Eric Spoelstra.
Yes.
Because if anybody came in from game 1 when they played the Bulls trying to take away everything you do best, it was definitely Eric Spoelstra, man. Like,
he has the personnel to do so.
Correct, man. They are a deep team. You know what I'm saying? They're a really, really deep team. And the Bulls haven't beat them yet. And the only game that was close was the first one. Like, and guys were missing a lot on those games. But them last 2 that they played, I mean, I still ain't got over Desmond giving Vooch the business. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Out there, you know what I mean? Looking like Moses Malone on him, bro. Like I'm still upset about that. Like, that's crazy. You can't let Dwayne Dedman do you up.
Bro,
like,
I just refuse. I remember that game.
Bro, he had 20 and 12 on him, bro. Like, no. You can't let that dude do you up.
Yeah.
That was furious.
That's unacceptable.
But yeah, man. But yeah, they just have so many pieces they can hit you with. They also have like that death by 1,000 cuts kind of style, but they're a little bigger. You know what I'm saying, with theirs. But the trapping they're gonna do on the Bulls, you know what I mean, getting the ball out of the ball handler's hands, and then the scoring they do, the 3-point shooting that they can kill you with as well. This is why they're number 1 right now, and it's like they're gonna be number 1 when they go in the playoffs.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And they are to me, they're the best perimeter defending team in the East, and probably in the league, top 3 in the league, but definitely number 1 in the East, top perimeter defending team. So you're right. It would cause some matchup problems for the Bulls, because they score a lot of their points on the perimeter. Demar knows mid-range, Zach Lavine on the mid-range. They got a lot of guys who can counteract some of that, or at least rough them up a little bit. And if Zach Lavine's not healthy, it definitely might be a problem going against those Heat defenders. So yeah, so I'm glad we brought up the teams in the East that are well ahead of them, because that's been the knock on the Bulls really throughout this whole season. People are saying the Bulls can't beat the top teams in the East. And if you look at their record against the 4 teams ahead of them, they're I don't know if they're 0-11 or 1-11. 1-11 between 1-11 record against the top 4 teams ahead of them, with that 1 win coming against the Celtics. And if you want to add in the top 3 seeds in both conferences in the West, I think they're 0-16 or something like that. They haven't beaten any of the top 3 teams in the West. So
top 3. Fact.
Yeah, so that's a slight problem going into the playoffs, and that has been one of the knocks on the Bulls. So you talk to me, brother. How do you respond to the critics who say that the Bulls easy first round out because they can't beat some of the top teams in the East? How do you respond to critics saying that?
I mean, it's hard to debate a fact. You know what I mean? And when you're looking at that, you haven't won a game against the top 3 teams in either conference. And then, like you said, you're 1-11 against the teams in your conference that are top 4. And that Boston win was early.
When Boston wasn't together, properly together.
Because I remember that game so well because it was Ayo Dosunmu's kind of coming out game. Like he was perfect from the field. He had 3 threes. He had a key 3, and they came back from like 18 down to win that game. And after that game, Boston had a team-only meeting after that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I remember all of that. So it was a while ago when they beat those teams. It's hard to argue when somebody is that critical of them because you're looking at the numbers. You're looking at it, you're like, well, you haven't beat them. Like, that's the only way you can sit here and debate that. Is you have to come out and beat these guys. The only thing I can tell you is the playoffs is a different monster. You know what I mean? Playoffs are different. That's the only thing I can tell you that's different. But for me, and I keep saying, like, this Bulls team, again, like I said, keep learning how to walk. A lot of them don't know what winning is yet. You know what I'm saying? They have never dealt with that. DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, Tristan Thompson. That's pretty much your guys right there who know what winning feels like. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, Lonzo included, don't really know what winning feels like. You know what I'm saying? Or playing meaningful games this late in the season. This is new. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of Bulls players, bro. So it's a lot of curses to break. You know, a lot of bad habits they got to get out of. You know what I'm saying? To get to this point. Now, they'll get there, but for me, it's all part of the process. And you can't cheat. You can't cheat steps in the process, bro. Like, it's just what it is. You got to go through these things. Figure out where you are and where you stand. So, yeah, I can see why people are critical of it because it continues to be shown. Because not only are they losing, just they get whooped.
Yeah,
you know
that's the part I don't like. I don't like a 20-point blowout, and then not from the top team. Bro. Sometimes you got to make a statement. Sometimes maybe just one statement you got to make.
Yeah, man. Like that's the whole thing. I was at the Memphis game when Ja was here. When they played, when Ja dropped 45.
Oh my Lord.
It was insane. It was insane.
He was
dog.
playing around with
insane. Yeah, he was, brother. Like, hey, man, I wasn't even mad. That's my guy. I love Ja.
Me too.
But damn, it was ugly. It was ugly. Shout out to his pops who put on the show. He was fun to watch. But yeah, man, like even watching that game got close towards the end. They had a nice little run and they made it close.
Yeah.
But at no point in time did I feel like they were going to win that basketball game. You know what I'm saying? Even though they had the opportunity to kind of take it, at no point I didn't feel like they were going to win it, man. And it's a process, man. They got to go through these things. You got to go through it to get to it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem with people being critical. They're correct. You're right. You're accurate in what you're saying. Only thing I can say is playoffs are a different monster. And I want to see what the Bulls look like when that postseason is here, man, because it's going to be new for everybody. And I hope the Bulls can get some things together and just look competent and a little tougher.
Yes, and I agree with you. And that's a great indicator of how put together the team is and how well the team responds to adversity also as well. Because when you lose that first game or maybe you go down 0-2 in a playoff series, you see how the troops respond. How do you react to that adversity? Do you guys come together or do you guys start folding? You start pointing fingers, doing shit like that? I don't think the Bulls will do that because they do look like, from the outside looking in, they look like a team that really enjoys playing with each other. They look like a team that really likes each other. So I don't think they would go too crazy after, I think they would still stay positive as they do fall into maybe a 0-2 hole. But the way I look at the Bulls, and I try to compare them similarly to the Memphis Grizzlies last year, of how the Memphis Grizzlies really earned their way into the playoffs last year. They won on a playing game against Steph and the Warriors. They won that playing game, and then they went and faced the Jazz in the first round. They got beat, I don't know if it was 4-1 or 4-2, but I know it didn't go past 6 games, but it was a hard-fought, tough 6 games, and they actually was very competitive in those games. So I see the Bulls, if they happen to lose a round, depending on who they play, of course, because there could be a team like the Bulls where it can go 7 and that could go either way, and either team can win that game. So it all depends on matchups in the playoffs. But I see them making that same trajectory as the Memphis Grizzlies did last season, and that one playoff berth last year, look how they carried over into this year, and they were extremely confident. So even if they do lose, it could work wonders for them mentally and for their spirit as a team, because they do have to deal with some injuries.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. Like, they need to go through that and get that. Like, having a winning streak is important.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's a step. You know what I mean? Like, going through adversity is a step. like getting accolades like All-Star and things like that. That's a step. These
Yes.
are all steps in the process like that to get you to the point where you're like, okay, we're ready to win. You know what I'm saying? Let's go out here. Because now the expectations going into next year will not be what your boy Fat Joe said, yesterday's price is not today's price.
Exactly.
At all. The expectations they got today will not be the expectations for next year. They will be elevated.
Yeah.
That is what it's supposed to be. So it's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, I promise you, Jess, I'm happy to go to the playoffs. I'm ecstatic to go to the playoffs. It's been way too long, man. And I just want to see. And as we know, anything can happen in the playoffs.
Yes.
Anything can go down, man. We have an idea about what it's going to be and what we feel might happen. But anything could go down, man. An injury could occur. I hope it doesn't. But a team can catch fire. You never know, man. But I just want them to get there to that dance, to have that experience, to know what it feels like.
I'm glad you brought up yesterday's price is not today's price, because a team that learned that firsthand was the damn New York Knicks. They learned it. They got a little taste of winning last year.
Bing bong, baby.
Bit them in the ass, and they thought they were too damn good. And now your ass is about to be out of the plan. So they're one team that learned that yesterday's price is not today's price.
I told you that on your show as well. I said, you're going to love Tibbs. Early on, you're going to love him. I was like, later.
Yo, get up.
I was like, y'all going to trust. See what I mean?
Once he benched my son Kemba, I was done with him already. I'm like, how dare you disrespect my son Kemba? I did. That was wild disrespect. So I never forgave him for that. You need to be gone from that. Get him up.
Bro, the second they got him, I was like, this ain't gonna work. Because I know Tibbs. I was like, this ain't gonna work.
Stubborn ass.
Kim ain't about no defense, bro. Kemba don't do that. He a baller. You know what I'm saying? I was like, so what he do?
Oh, man.
No, bro. Tibbs like, he ain't playing D. Get out of here.
That got me in a damn toozy over. I went off on Twitter. I went off on the show, off on Twitter. I wasn't having it. And you know what's crazy, man? And when I went to, not to go off topic really quick, but when I went to the Knicks game, I was supposed to be sitting next to Kemba Walker's mother. I went to the Knicks game and Pacers game, and they had the seat blocked off for Kemba Walker's mother because she was sitting right now. I was like, yo, why these seats open? I was asking the guard. I was right behind the Pacers bench. It was like, yo, this is for Kemba Walker's mom. I said, oh, yeah. Now I'm here. I'm about to tell her how much I hate Tibbs over here. But she didn't end up coming to the game, so I was like, damn, I was a little disappointed. Maybe that was a basketball god telling me to, yo, chill. You might say something crazy. Maybe telling me to chill. But so pivoting on now, closing out the show, my brother. Playoff outcomes, playoff expectations for you. How far realistically, real talk now, how far, because you know we're going to come back to this show and see, of course, how you thought the Bulls were doing in the postseason. Obviously, we don't know the matches, but how far realistically do you think, or what's the ceiling for the Bulls right now, this playoffs coming up?
Ceiling for this playoffs is second round. When I had them at the 6th seed, I was, like I told you on your show, I was like, I'd just be happy to get to the first round and I'm good. After what I saw some of this season, I ticked up that expectation and said, this is a team that can get to the second round. And I'm going to stand on that. It's a team that can get to the second round, man, when everything's going right. Because they've already shown me that they know how to play. They already shown me that they're good. They already shown me that can play defense. And they enjoy being around each other and playing with each other. I just need to see them as you know, together. I need to see them more as a unit because the Bulls are not a team that is just an individual thing. Like, you can look at Philly and, you know, you be like, oh, Embiid, you know what I'm saying? Boom, that's it. If Embiid ain't rocking, then we ain't rocking kind of thing. Bulls are different, man. Everybody has to be together.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They have to be as one for them to, you know, for it to work properly from what we've seen. So we got to get Lonzo back. That's a huge thing. He's still dealing with the bruise in his knee. They just shut him down this week for the next 10 days. Basically, this whole 5-game road trip, they shut him down for that. So yeah, they're not calling it a setback, but I don't know what else to call it.
I know, that's you know what I'm saying? You can't run for 10 days. That's a setback to me.
Right. That's a setback, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we're just hoping for the best on that.
And by the way, it really pissed me off because Lonzo was on my fantasy team and now I had to drop him. Because, he was on my IL and I had to drop him once that report came out. I was like, damn, Zo,
sorry, man. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, but carry on, my brother.
But yeah, that's yes, sir. I feel you, man. But yeah, that's my expectation for them is a second round playoff team. They can do that. They can definitely beat these teams. As much as I don't want to play a couple of them, I'm not scared of none of them. And that's the one thing that the Bulls gave me this year is I'm not scared of none of these teams, bro. Like, all right, throw the ball up. Let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens when we get out there and we got our guys together. So, and you mentioned Patrick Williams. I'm so excited to get him back too. He's going to be a big, vital, important piece. Yes. He kind of having everybody back kind of puts everybody in their place where they need to be.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So now I don't have to see Troy Brown Jr. or Tony Bradley or my man Matt Thomas. Even though I love Matt Thomas, I don't have to see him. I call him Matty Legend. I don't have to see him no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with not seeing them anymore because we got some better players ahead of them. That's fine. Yeah. And so, I need to see that. I'm interested to see Billy Donovan's coaching in the playoffs because one of my biggest criticisms of Billy Donovan was he's not a guy who was trying to make adjustments. When I would watch him in the playoffs, he was not a dude that was trying to make adjustments at all. He would stick with what he was going with, and that was it. And I was like, it's not an issue yet because again, we were laying on the ground. We weren't walking yet. I was like, it's not an issue. I'll wait till it becomes an issue down the line. And now it's getting down the line because now the playoffs are coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm interested to see what he does because unlike those other teams he had, like the Bulls are probably the deepest team I've ever seen him coach. Like Bulls are pretty deep with there. So they can go 10 deep if you want to. You know what I'm saying? So I want to see him. Billy would go 6. You know what I'm saying? He would go 6, he would go 7, and just not play some other guys who I thought he should have had out there. So I'm interested to see that. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested to see him more as an X's and O's guy because he lets guys figure things out, for themselves and do like that. Again, another reason Lonzo was so important. Lonzo's IQ was out of this world.
Yes.
So yeah, man, I'm interested to see Billy's coaching style and if it's changed somewhat, you know what I'm saying? Because he started so many lineups and he hasn't been beholden to any lineup. And I like that about him. But in the playoffs, man, I don't know if he's going to do that. I'm going 6-7 and that's it. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I know you know well, just because your boy was there.
Bro, you are speaking nothing but facts, my brother. Listen, Billy Donovan's adjustments are non-existent. I don't want to go too harsh, but he's from the school of D'Antoni. No adjustments. Not that he learns from D'Antoni, but damn, he adopted some of those same characteristics of non-adjustments. And the one thing I do worry about, because really quick, when they were in the bubble, they had that OKC team with Chris Paul on that team, right? They had Steven Adams at center. We played the Rockets that year, who were playing absolutely no center. PJ Tucker was the center, and they had Danny Woodhouse. This guy, and it was Steven Adams and Gallinari lining up at the 4-5 spot. This man did not take either one of them off the floor when they would get beaten off the dribble every single possession after possession. Because remember that Rockets team was a 3-point shooting team, take you off the dribble, blah, blah, blah. We know Steven Adams could not hold those guys, especially on the perimeter. Slow foot Gallinari, cannot hold those dudes. The only reason I'm worried about it is because Vooch is kind of in that same mold a little bit with Steven Adams. So, man, if Vooch start getting smoked off the dribble on switches on the perimeter, if he's guarding a Tatum, guarding a Jaylen Brown or something like that on the perimeter, Billy D, you just got to take him out. Out. So that's the only one thing I'm worried about Billy D.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And Vooch has been getting eaten alive defensively on those switches. But a lot of people are coming at him because I'm like, but he's by himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the one thing I got to give him, bro. Like, he's by himself out there, bro. And he's not, the Kimbe.
He's not mobile at all. I tell you that.
You know what I mean? He's not a defensive stop, right? And not a mobile guy, but he's been alone on night because they're playing that drop defense. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm interested to see that. Let's see what the adjustments are, what they do. But yeah, I'm just excited to go, Jess. I'm excited to go, man.
And listen, I'm just as excited to see your playoff coverage talking about the Bulls. Because I know you're going to be hyped, my brother. I know you're going to be hyped about this playoff.
I am.
Yes, I definitely got to tap into all your pre-games, your post-games, your tweets during the game, because I know you're going to be talking shit to it. Listen, I need you to be honest on Twitter. And I know sometimes I feel like you be holding it in, Dave. I know you be wanting to say more shit.
Oh, yeah? You think so?
Hell yeah.
You think so?
I'm like, Dave can talk way more shit than he wants. then he's letting us on. So,
yeah, you're right. I save all my shit talking for the actual talk.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
Even for me, sometimes I hold him up because I could go even way crazy, especially when when it comes to them Suns and CP3 talk, I could go way more wild.
That's fair.
I try to rein some of that shit in also as well. So, yeah, man, let it loose this postseason, man. And I'm really hopeful. I'm really hopeful to see what's gonna happen with the Bulls in the playoffs. I don't know if you're gonna get a chance to get to any of the playoffs games, man. But I'm sure the United Center is gonna be rocking. I know it's gonna be rocking during playoff time, man.
It's nothing like it, bro. Like, it's nothing like the United Center during playoff time for the Bulls. I'm excited to get back to it.
It's gonna be crazy, man. Because that's why the Bulls do need to get the home court advantage, because they have one of the best home courts in the entire league. So
that's a fact.
Yeah, so it's gonna be crazy, and I'm really excited to see them going to the postseason. And man, it's I'm definitely, you know, of course, we talk a lot on Twitter and we talk here too. So we definitely gonna have a lot of conversations. Definitely, if y'all went around to, you are 1,000% coming back on here because we gotta talk wild shit about that too.
See, that's why this is why I say my shit talking for the actual talking.
Yes,
I'm gonna speak it to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell it to you, but. I get them in occasionally, like when Boost was killing people after they was getting on him. I was getting them in.
You did.
You know what I mean? With Kobe White too. I was getting them in. You know what I'm saying?
100%, 1,000%. And yeah, man, we gonna keep it tuned, keep tuned, keep it locked, and definitely see how the Bulls are rocking. And of course, my brother, I gotta give you a shout out because you are one of the brothers I've respected most in this podcast game. When I came into this game, we connected years ago, and now we still cool. So I just want to give you a major shout out to you, my brother, and of course, everybody else in the thread too, all the brothers that we connect with also. So I want to give a shout out to you, man. And I appreciate the work you have done, man, because, hey, man, we're about to take over this thing.
Hey, I like hearing that stuff, just like my man, dude. You've been doing it for a while, bro, and I always appreciate you because your coverage is so broad, you know what I'm saying, about what you cover, all aspects of the NBA, but also analytically, you cover it as well, too, man. Like, you just do a whole lot, bro. It's amazing to watch. It really is. I appreciate that, my brother. You know, the respect is mutual, and it's definitely all love here, my brother. So anytime I can get you on this, definitely I'll jump out of my seat to get my guy Big Dave on here, man. You know, these got to be special episodes for me. I really appreciate you once again, my brother. And family, make sure you're keeping it locked each and every week, family. Make sure you're listening to the show. Make sure you're listening to Big Dave Show, CHGO. Make sure you check them out there, pre and post game. Make sure you copping the merch, the Above the Rim merch, and the Ball Sports merch. I gotta go get my hoodie this Friday. I'm gonna get my hoodie this week, my brother. Rock it on it. Show my guy some love. So family, make sure you go out. Support the family, support the good shows, support brothers do great content. And as always, man, I appreciate you like I said before, brother. And family, this is episode 176, and we out.